Thank you very much, Program Directors, Dr. Blade Nzimande and Mr. Becky Kumalo. Our sincere condolences to our mother, Umama Funeka Bengu, the children, grandchildren, and the grand-grandchild, and the entire Bengu family and relatives. Greetings to the clergy, led by Bishop Nkosinathi Miyaga, Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, Honorable Thamsanqa Ntuli, and all premiers who may be here, and MPLs. I saw the Premier of Gauteng, Panyaza Lusufi, ministers, deputy ministers who are here with us, executive mayors, councillors, deputy speaker, and all members of parliament who are here, Honorables Boniso Duma and the leadership of the African National Congress, leadership of the IFP and all other parties who are present with us today. Dr. Zweli Mkhize and Amadlangezwa wonke, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, former cabinet colleague of Professor Bengu, Vice Chancellor of University of KwaZulu-Natal, Professor Mtos, and members of the academic fraternity, traditional and community leaders, fellow mourners. Ngiyanibulisa nonke ngokukhulu ukuzithoba. Today we gather to pay tribute to a remarkable individual, Professor Sibusiso Bengu, a renowned revolutionary and intellectual of his time. As a country, we have lost a distinguished educator, a diplomat, and a servant of the people. Professor Bengu has played a key role in shaping education and other social policies, contributing to the transformation of the sector, and most importantly, reversing the legacy of apartheid education. Those amongst us who were fortunate enough to work with him will never forget his commitment to fighting for social justice and promoting democracy in South Africa. One of Professor Bengu's notable contributions is his advocacy for inclusive governance. He has been a prominent advocate of marginalized populations, working relentlessly to solve our society's inherent injustices. As a champion of education, Professor Bengu has been instrumental in demolishing the apartheid structure of our country's education system. His passion for contributing towards education, especially amongst the underprivileged and marginalized, was evident when he began his teaching career in 1952 and founded Langezwa High School in 1969, serving as principal until 1976. In multiple ways, Professor Bengu exemplified perfection and never undermined any task or responsibility assigned to him. He served in every portfolio with the intention of improving the lives of the majority, never accepting a position out of self-interest. It came as no surprise when he was appointed by President Nelson Mandela as the first democratic government Minister of Education. His skills, knowledge, and contribution to various sectors of education showed that he possessed the capacity to revolutionize education by dismantling the dreadful legacies of apartheid. 30 years later, our education outcomes are still improving, a testament to the profound impact of this icon. As part of President Nelson Mandela's cabinet, he introduced many key pieces of legislation that shaped our education system. Among these are the South African Schools Act of 1996 and the policy recommendations of the National Commission on Higher Education, which served as a guide for the government's efforts to reconstruct and transform the apartheid higher education system. He oversaw the amalgamation of 17 fragmented education departments into a unified system and introduced Curriculum 2005 to reform the school curriculum. He also played a pivotal role in the facilitation of the transition from the Tertiary Education Fund of South Africa, TEFSA, to the current National Student Financial Aid Scheme, NSFAS. Compatriots, the manner in which we have enhanced the schooling system and produced quality metric results, leading to the acceptance of many of our children into higher education and training, clearly demonstrate how Professor Bengu's contribution impacted the education sector. Professor Bengu's contribution resulted in many among the previously disadvantaged groups participating meaningfully in the economy and leading in various professions and industries which they were previously barred. In recent years, in order to continue Professor Bengu's work and legacy, the government established the Human Resource Development Council, the HRDC. The HRDC has brought together government, the private sector, and civil society to ensure that we invest in the production of skills required by the state and the economy. Through the HRDC, we are working together with the institutions of higher education and training in advancing the transformation of higher education sector. And in keeping with this legacy and honoring his work, we are investing in the growth of development of the TVET sector, which plays a crucial role in producing the skills that the economy and the state immediately require. Ladies and gentlemen, let me also use this opportunity to thank the Department of Higher Education for honoring Professor Bengu by renaming what was then known as the Historically Disadvantaged Institution Development Grant to the Sibusiso Bengu Development Program. In order to enable the HDIs to respond to cross-cutting imperatives such as decolonization in higher education, indigenous knowledge systems, the fourth industrial revolution, and digitization, the Sibusiso Bengu Development Program aims to decisively redress the inequalities that have negatively impacted their development and sustainability. This program is in line with what Professor Bengu has fought for. We should therefore ensure that this program achieves its desired outcomes and that it never fails. We believe that Professor Bengu's work has directly and indirectly reversed the flawed apartheid policies, which were aimed to provide inferior education for Africans, in particular, black people in general. Through his work, we have witnessed a significant advancement in the vision of constructing a society that is free from racism, sexism, and discrimination. This is evident in the fact that we are now producing globally competitive young South Africans who are able to compete with the best in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, as we go beyond the 30 years of freedom and democracy, we are going to invest in the speed of policy execution and implementation. This is to ensure that the critical transformation of policy contribution made by Professor Bengu are not undermined, and that we continue to drive the change that we are pursuing in this sector. Our task is to ensure that the state, institutions of higher learning, and the private sector will expand the 10 growth sectors, which include finance, manufacturing, agriculture, business, and services, amongst others. Our goal is to create much-needed employment while also ensuring that many young people, women, and the most disadvantaged individuals have meaningful participation in the economy. We have also agreed that emerging from the 2024 elections, we are going to focus on growing an inclusive economy and reducing the cost of living. Furthermore, we are investing in the building of a developmental, capable, and ethical state that has the capacity to transform society and redirect development to resolve these challenges of poverty, unemployment, and inequality. In honor of Professor Bengu, we are reaching out to the intelligentsia in society, especially universities, to continue to work with the government so that together we deal with all the challenges facing our people. We must all emulate the ethos of Professor Bengu, which is to make a difference in the lives of those in need by reaching out to them. Our society should follow his example and strive for excellence in everything we do. Let his example guide us and his spirit inspire us to make a positive impact in our country. We also encourage the student fraternity to maintain their position at the forefront of finding enduring solutions to our challenges, as they have done in the past, remembering that they are members of community before they are students. As Professor has taught us, we should understand the connection between education and development. We must continue to address challenges related to access to better education. An educated society has better prospects for a better future and breaking the shackles of poverty and injustice. Educated populations correspond with national economic growth and both directly and indirectly increase economic productivity. I also call on the trade union movement and other sectors to continue to work together to ensure that our universities remain critical centers to produce the best skills required by the economy and the state. We should unite as diverse sectors of society to collaborate and serve the people of our country with integrity and dignity. I concur with the words of Haile Selassie when he said, "History teaches us that unity is strength and cautions us to submerge and overcome our differences in the quest for common goals, to strive with all our combined strength for the path to true brotherhood and unity." As many have alluded, the passing of Professor Bengu should propel us to pay more urgent collective attention to some of the unresolved challenges in society, including the transformation of our country's education landscape. As a further step towards transforming South Africa's education system, our government will ensure that the implementation of the Basic Education Laws Amendment Act, the Bella Act, takes place as soon as possible. The Bella Act or law grants provincial education departments greater control over schools, admission policies, language practices, and codes of conduct, ensuring they respect the cultural, religious beliefs of all learners. The Bella Act seeks to ensure that in line with the changing socio-political, economic, and geographical landscape in South Africa, all learners have equal and fair access to quality basic education that the country can offer, as Comrade Tamim Seleki also indicated this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, as we accompany our leader and brother to his final resting place, may we always remember how Professor Sibusiso Bengu's political efforts have been vital in furthering our democratic values and socio-economic development. His passion to promote equality and fairness has had a long-lasting influence in our society, and this should inspire us. To this day, many South Africans are still benefiting from his immense contribution, and for this we are grateful. Once more, on behalf of our government, let me extend our deepest condolences to Umama Funega, the children, grandchildren, great-grandchild, and the entire Bengu family and relatives. May the Lord comfort you and give you strength. I would like to leave you with the words of encouragement from the book of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 28, which says, "Come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens. I will give you rest." Close quote. Hamba kahle ngolosi labazani ngwani. Ngiyabonga kakhulu. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you very much, program directors.